Good morning. Breakfast with the broker every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. We have a very exciting special guest, and let me introduce. And now, by way of Bergen County, New Jersey, from all the way across the pond, he is known as the British Agent. He is a top producing realtor at Remax Real Estate Limited. His wife works on the Elvis Duran Show, and he has been featured on the show as well. He's a creator of videos, a lover of Christmas music, and all things in between. He is Sheldon Neal.
Wow, what an intro. My goodness. I feel I should come out swinging after that.
Yeah, let's go. I didn't bring in the whole soccer, well, football, you're playing football and all that stuff. But good stuff. Welcome to Breakfast with the Broker. I appreciate you doing this. So, we like to give value to our viewership, and most of our viewership are either real estate, in the real estate industry, or interested in the real estate industry.
Yep.
So the one thing that we always talk about is how's the market? How's the market in New Jersey? Give us a little bit of, I guess, inside information of how New Jersey's doing.
We're doing well. It's been a different type of environment for us up here because very early on, our governor gave us the green light to continue to work under very strict guidelines, obviously, but declared us essential, didn't want people having any problem with the largest assets, purchases, windows to their futures to have any jeopardy. So he let us go out and help them the best we can so that they could continue getting on with their life. And we've done that under very strict guidelines and continue to work. So in the last couple of weeks, especially, the sort of the floodgates have opened up here. We're very, very busy in Jersey right now.
That's awesome. Where's Bergen County too? For those that aren't familiar with it.
The northernmost part of New Jersey, connected to Manhattan. So we go to the George Washington Bridge and right over to the New York boroughs. So we are actually getting a lot of New York converts coming over here now as well, and the inquiries to move out of the boroughs. And so we're very, very close. We're the bedroom city of Manhattan over the water.
Got it. So those New York City, Manhattan people that decide that they're not coming to South Florida, they're going to Bergen County.
We're a stepping stone. You're next. They're coming down.
We don't always want to be the retirement community,
Yeah.
So how you been managing? Realtors, adapt in different ways. I think we were talking off air about how people, deal with stress differently and such. There certainly is some degree of stress, during this pandemic, and we've had to change some of what we're doing and how we're doing it. What are you putting in place to make your customers and or clients, comfortable? And how busy are you?
So couple fold on that. One, I'm very busy. And two, that the conversations obviously are very different today than they were a couple months ago, and certainly for several years. Now, instead of the conversations about how to position offers and strategy and tactics, they're secondary to how do we do this safely? And is it even safe at all? I'm nervous to even go and look at a house. Can I even buy a house with a virtual tour, etc.? So these are all new conversations that we have had to learn how to respond to that we never had to address in the past. So we've definitely shifted in our approach. But that's part of what we do. The strong agents out there know that sometimes you have to pivot and you have to go with what's on your plate. And so we are having those conversations to give confidence to the sellers that the procedures we're going through are giving us a very, very good chance of a safe showing for the house and a safe opportunity to get buyers into their house. So that's happened since very early on in this, and we've I have boxes of gloves and masks in the front of my car. The front of my car looks like CVS pharmacy with hand sanitizers and all sorts of things in there. But we're doing what we have to do. We are certainly, from my standpoint, I have a reputation of keeping a very light-hearted approach to a very serious journey. And I try to still keep it that way. And it's obviously heightened even more with the stress that people are going through. But that's my personal challenge. And I pride myself on trying to keep people calm, level-headed, but still seriously focused. And I've continued to do that on the real estate platform and in the social media world, where I spend a lot of time, and that's been serving people very well, but for the last couple of months.
Yeah, great. I mean, you're extremely well respected and such, and and you always seem to be ahead of the curve. And one of the things that I thought was interesting, as I'm going through your sites and stuff, the BritishAgent.com is, you have a splash page or an opening page that basically says, hey, listen, and it talks about the pandemic and some of the things that you're doing. I thought that was very interesting to really, anybody that comes on your page knows that you're serious about, not just, doing business, but maybe helping the community as well, and making sure that people know that, it is safe as long as you take precautions to go see a home, or if you don't feel comfortable, we have virtual tours available to you.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the pivot. There's there's various different approaches out there, but the general synopsis is that life in general is a moving target, and this is an extreme change. So we've got to shift, we've got to pivot, we've got to stay a finger on the pulse with these things. Otherwise, we're not going to be of as much value as we could be. And most of those times, they'll go to somebody who is of value, who is giving them the confidence that they can rely on this person to safely get them through this journey. So yeah, everything from my website, which is That British Agent, and from that splash page through my initial consultations with people. When I get a lead in, that phone conversation also incorporates the initial conversation about safety and confidence that they can have faith moving forward with this. So it's just a sign of the times. It's what we have to deal with now. And then once we move past that, we can get into some of the other value that I bring to the table in terms of experience and ideas and strategies and support and all of those things that were traditional. They're intertwined, but sort of take a back seat, as you say, to the initial conversations of we can do this and you can have confidence, but only if you are comfortable. If you're not, no problem. We'll come from another angle.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of value, you're really good with systems. I watched some of your videos in 2018 and some of the interviews that you were doing, and you talk about systems back then. When really realtors, they might have systems, but they're not written down systems. Can you talk a little bit about the value of systems in your business?
It's critical. Very early on, I learned the value of systems, because you move so fast when you become a really high performing agent, and you move so fast that it's very, very easy to slip up or miss something and then end up having to backtrack. And that's never a good thing. So the systems that I have put in place, and I've basically concocted them all myself over the years just from experience, but the systems that I have in place, they just keep me on track. Every night I go through the next day's top 3 things that I have to get accomplished, bar none. And then I have the next 5 things that if there's time, I'd like to get those done. So it keeps me very efficient, very productive. And then the next day will come around and I have the system set up for each individual task that is on the high priority list. So having a system in place that works for you is critical for getting up those final rungs of the ladder when you're trying to get to the top. If you don't have them, you're throwing stuff against the wall and hoping that it sticks. Whereas, you have a much better chance of success and climbing that mountain if you have a very specific strategy in mind, and systems are what have got me there. And it can be as simple as spreadsheets. I still use spreadsheets with the team that I work with, and my transaction coordinator and my client care coordinator. They have we have sync up meetings where we just pull up the trackers and we go over them so we know who's doing what when, and what the steps are to get to the goals. And systems are a critical backbone of my success.
What resources do you use? What kind of tools, as far as a CRM, things that help you kind of push those systems in place so that you and your team know where everyone stands?
So Google Drive was the best thing that we ever did because it's a collaboration, which means that you can have one document that's basically a live document that all your team members can view at the same time, change if you want them to, whichever, but it just keeps you on the same page. Back before Google Drive, we would email back and forth spreadsheets, and it worked, but it was very primitive and it was laborious, and you had to wait for people. Right now, with a collaboration like a Google Drive or other collaborative options, you and your assistants and your team, etc., can all be viewing the same page and subsequently moving in the same direction. So Google Drive was a huge game changer for us several years ago. We use Exact Contact for our CRM. We have found that to be one of the most user-friendly. I've tried probably 10 of them from Top Producer and a bunch of others. I just found Exact to be very user-friendly, very easy to work, and they do incorporate a bunch of different side features, which are good with newsletters and different things. I don't use a lot of those, but for my complete database, I like Exact Contacts, and it's inexpensive. And then I use other different apps that come up. The one that I love right now for video tours especially is Splice. I can record various different segments of a walkthrough on my iPhone, and then I pull up Splice, I upload the different segments, and it's a very, very easy transactional edit to produce one smooth virtual tour or walkthrough, which I can then upload to Vimeo and then get the link to put up on my listing. So I'm doing that for almost every listing now, and it's been very, very helpful in this last stage.
So you're saying video is important in this day and age?
Yeah, it's I know it's weird, but yeah, people are getting onto it. Yeah, it's video is obviously the leading form of communication now by a mile, even more than videos or posts or anything else. But yeah, I had embraced video for many, many years now. So as shy as I am, I still.
Speaking of shyness, give us a story on the Elvis Duran Show that maybe some people haven't heard.
Well, I'll tell you the story of how we met. We actually met through Elvis. Elvis and I had met on a booze cruise around Manhattan. And at that point, he and I hit it off, had a great time, might have had one or two adult beverages at the time. And then he kept in touch. We kept in touch. And Danielle was on the show. She was actually not on the air at the time. And he thought that we would be a good match to crazy kids, and he set us up on our blind date. So he takes all the credit now, of course, for my marriage, my kids, my house, everything to do with my life. He says you wouldn't have any of that without me. So Elvis and I started my family.
That's awesome, and you guys just did the Newlywed Game.
They often will call me if they need a British angle on something on the show. They will wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to ask what I think about the royal family doing something. But yeah, we did the Newlywed Game last week. That was fun. We found out we know each other pretty well. 17 years married, so we got a bunch of the questions correct. So that was, I guess, that was reassuring to say the least. Yeah, we have fun, and we also do. Danielle and I do a little sort of weekly check-in podcasty thing on Facebook with Facebook Live, which we leave it live so that people can come in with any questions and everything else. But we like having that window. We're very transparent. That's how we've both lived, both of our lives. So we share a lot of what goes on, the ups and the downs, and people seem to enjoy following along with us.
What advice could you give to people that are either just starting out on video or haven't started video, and they're looking for an angle? Because it's different than getting into video 3 years ago. It seems like, more and more people are jumping in, getting into video. And how do you set yourself apart, from, all the rest of the stuff, the Sheldon Neals and some of these?
Yeah, it's very interesting you say that, because I was just thinking about this over the last couple of weeks. I've never had, obviously all of us, we've never had more Zoom interviews or new Zoom conversations than we have in the last couple months. And I like it. For me, it's very easy. It makes people comfortable. So I think start there. If you're nervous about being on camera, start by having a couple of Zoom conversations with people just so you get used to seeing your face on the screen. Danielle.
Yes.
I have somebody that would like to say hello. Come and say hello here. Come and say hello. Good morning. This is Danielle.
Hi, how are you?
I hear your voice almost every morning. So
God, I cannot not pop in.
This is Rebecca.
Hi,
Rebecca, how are
so
you?
much. Hi. I had to pop in. That's amazing. We were like, we hope Danielle pops on. We hope she pops on.
We're taking a commercial break, so I popped up to get a drink, and then I got to pop back down. So,
all right.
Oh my God.
Thanks a lot for loaning
You
us,
guys are
Sheldon.
amazing. All right, I'm back out. Bye.
So that's our house right now. So Danielle literally is on the air as we speak. She's taking a commercial break from the basement, which is there, going upstairs to get a bagel and a coffee, and she'll be back down on air in a little bit. But we're adjusting as everybody else is, as you can see. But from a video standpoint, it can be very intimidating to people, and that's why I think people hold off. So I think getting comfortable on the air, on the screen, is the first thing. So even doing regular Zoom interviews or phone conversations, I think gives you a little bit of confidence that you can see yourself on a screen and be okay with it. And then I would just do slow, comfortable scenarios. Go, take a video in front of one of your listings. Don't worry about how you look on it, because you can always put it up. You can take it off. You don't have to do a live where you're under a lot of pressure. But if you do a video in front of one of your listings, have an idea of the top 5 features of it, and just simply get your feet wet. Once you get your feet wet, you'll start to see that it's okay if you're not perfect. That is the number one tip that I can give anybody for anything, especially video, is don't even think that you'll ever be perfect, because while you strive to be perfect, you won't put anything out. I would rather be 80% and posted than hope for 100% and never get it live or never get it posted. And everybody's human. None of us are polished and perfect anyway. So, I was just talking to you, and some stranger walked in the background of here. So,
and I was talking to you, and I did all my research on you, and I messed up your website. So
that's
and I've done a lot of these.
And that's my point. But guess what you did? You allowed me the opportunity to then give the website. So it's never an issue not to be perfect. And that is the most important thing I tell everybody that asks me about video is just get it up there and show you being you. That's it. Don't try and be somebody else. Just be you. Be positive, the positive you. If you've got a demon you, don't be the positive you. And people will say, oh, I know that guy, and they'll connect with you.
It really is amazing as you're walking into the community and you're connecting the community. I mean, why did we get into the real estate business? We got in the real estate business to help people and to be part of this community. And what better way to do that than to show your personality through more eyes, or get more eyes on you. I mean, it's, I go to Starbucks or whatever, and sometimes people will stop me. Oh, you're breakfast with the broker or whatever. It has nothing to do with being Facebook famous or anything crazy like that. It's just about being you and having that sense of belonging in that community, of really just connecting that community. And that's why we do this.
So true. That's exactly, and that drives me every day as well. Exactly what you just said, which is if you can pop into people's lives in various different formats. One, as a realtor, but two, just to give them a little bit of lighthearted distraction. That's the reason I do what I do. Most of my videos are not real estate related. I would say probably 70-30. 70 is just for entertainment because we enjoy sharing a little bit of fun with people, whether it's with my family or just something I'm doing around town, putting on some different costume or something else. But if it gives people a smile in their day and distracts them from the stress a little bit, then I think that's the role that I have to play.
Do you get business from video?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. You know why? I'll tell you why it is. It's not even because of real estate. It's because they've seen me and they believe that they can trust me based on me being me. And that's the whole point.
And your British accent.
The accent helps. Definitely helps. Absolutely. They do tend to say, "Oh my God, I love your accent. Come talk for me." So
lots of voiceovers, I'm sure. So tell us, a little bit, we went over the videos and stuff, and actually my favorite video that you did was the kind of the Christmas song, all I want is a house for Christmas.
Yep.
And I guess what videos really do is they attract the people that are attracted to your personality are going to be attracted to you and want to do business with you. Tell us a little bit about how, do you need to be consistent with your videos? Is it, how do you come up with the content?
I am very, very dedicated to only putting out videos when I think they have value. Of some description. I'm about to post my socks after I hang up with you because they have tacos on them and it's Taco Tuesday. So that's appropriate for today. So I'm going to post a picture of my socks just to make people smile. But in terms of the other videos and everything else, I'll only post them when they're appropriate. There are a lot of people out there who will tell you, and they might be right for their journey, but that you have to post so consistently and rigidly just to get something out there and get some consistency. I actually don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to post when you have something of value. If I post 3 days in a row because there's 3 days of appropriate topic, then I'm going to post that. But I'm not going to post. I might not post for 10 days if I don't think I have something that can be of value. So that's always a contention with a lot of video experts who say you have to have something once, twice, 3 times a week to be video recognized. And I'm not talking about a weekly show because that has a consistency to it, which is very valuable. And I love that. But the regular person who doesn't have a podcast or a show shouldn't just force content out there, in my opinion, just to get out there, because people will see through it. If they don't think you're being authentic and you believe in what you're putting out, then they will just turn you off and they'll start to think, oh, that's just one of those canned realtors putting out canned material. So for me, a lot of my success with video has been because I believe in everything I put out. It can be just for fun or it can be value for real estate, but whatever it is, I think it's going to make people smile, or I think it's going to make people educated or something. So I don't think there is you must post Tuesdays and Thursdays, find something to put out that way. I will post when I have something of value. Now, having said that, I go through life with my eyes and ears open regularly for any opportunities to share something, and I'm not shy to share information. So whether I just came across a dilapidated mailbox in front of one of my listings last week, I've never seen anything like it. But I don't even know why it's still there. But I put it up, and there's hundreds of comments, and there's hundreds of likes, and it's something that people don't ordinarily see. So I thought that was something that would get people thinking, get people smiling, raise a few eyebrows, and it did. So it doesn't have to be something crazily spectacular. It could be a rusty old mailbox, but if you do it in the right context, you're going to get people appreciating the fact that you posted that.
Absolutely. And I subscribe to that same theory. There are a lot of experts and a lot of video people that'll say consistency or all different things. But, as you said, when you get the auto email responders, and those canned responses or things, it kind of falls on deaf ears at some point if your material is not valuable. But if you post and they know that it's going to be valuable, they're going to tune in at least for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever time that may be. But Sheldon, I always end the interview with, what do we not know about Sheldon that you care to share?
Well, I came to this country on a full soccer scholarship. So without soccer or football in Europe, I wouldn't be on this interview right now. So soccer is a huge part of my life, and I'm very grateful that my kids also share that passion. What else is there? I was an actor in a movie in Hollywood for a little while back in the 2000 year. So there you go. I have a credit for that. So that's good.
Where can we see that?
What
movie?
You can't see it. You can't see it. No.
It was a B movie?
It was an independent movie. It actually won an award at the Long Island Film Festival.
That's awesome.
And I was one of the two leads, but you can't find it. So
That's great. That's really, really cool. And
there was no nudity. It was no nudity. No.
Well, I wasn't going there.
Okay, good.
So who's your team? Who's your soccer team?
I'm a big Aston Villa fan, sadly, at the moment. Been since about over 30, 40 years. But sadly, we dropped out of the Premier League this last year. So we're going to fight to get back up there soon. But I'm a big claret and blue fan.
Good stuff. All right, Sheldon, I really, really thank you very much for coming on. I think you really hit the nail on the head when it comes to video consistency, systems. Those things are really so important, and be authentic and being you is very important. So we very much appreciate you coming on the show. Remember, guys, Breakfast with the Broker every Tuesday at 9 a.m. We have another exciting guest next week, and we will go from there. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.